funny because we started talking about your relationship with your parents. I'm very curious if they find you funny.
Not one bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Like they're proud of me, but like my mom will be sitting, like my mom will watch the audience in the middle of my show. And therefore, like I cannot have my parents in my eye line at all during the show.
You know what, I'll have to say this. If I have family, any kind of family coming to a show, I can't handle it. It's very difficult. And it could be, it could be the Chicago Theater and there's whatever, 34,000 people packed in that theater. If I know that there's a face somewhat like mine somewhere in there, it chills me to the bone. I don't know what that is. And my parents have been very supportive and happy, and I know they're out there laughing, but it's a kind of pressure that's hard to explain to people.
And you also take it a lot more personally. Like my wife is very smart in that on a 25-country world tour, she'll go like, okay, there, and there. I'm coming with you, but I'm not coming to Arlington, Texas. I'll come to Edinburgh, or I'll come to New York. And so then if you're doing a show and you look over in the wings and your wife is just like on her phone, you take that so goddamn personally. And you're like, I know it's the 50th time you've seen the show, but you have to be as captive as the rest of the audience. So I just rather not, have people there.
I'm just relating to this. This is meaningful to me because I know exactly what you're talking about.
She's like playing Candy Crush during my. I'm like, what the hell?
Do you see I'm killing here? She's like, yeah, but I'm really with this Candy Crush. This is a high score for me. This is a personal best. Tell me about that because that intrigues me. You're in a very small club of comedians that can do a world tour and hit so many different countries. That just blows me away.
You thought there was a downside to having 1 billion people, huh?
1 billion just feels like too many to me.
Yeah.
I've been offered 1 billion fans and I just don't find it. No, but I mean, tell me, so what are your favorite countries to go to? Or you don't have to say favorite, but what are the countries you'll say, oh my God, I'm going to absolutely kill it there? Because there must be spots around the globe, outside of India where you say like, oh my God, when I go there, it's just a delight.
I like the no safety net places. And I think you probably relate to this as much in that I did a 25-country world tour and, we were in Oslo and in Oslo, we maybe had 800 or 900 people come out. And then that was a Sunday night. And then the promoters there's a town called Stavanger, which is 2 hours away, which is a fishing village. Do you want to play Stavanger? And I'm like, how many people? 23. How many free tickets? 20. And it's his friends and that's the best show of the world tour.
Yeah.
There's no Indians. There's no safety net. Your material is tested. So I like that. Or I like going up at the Comedy Cellar, for instance, following some comic that nobody's heard of, but who's 20 years in and is an assassin and so much older than I am and being terrified to follow that person.
It's good to be terrified.
It is so good to be terrified.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And it's also necessary. It's funny you say that about, wanting to play that small village because it's something that I am a little bit addicted to, which is I like to get into places where I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, why is he here? It's a little bit like, where's Waldo? Why is that guy here? And that's one of the things that the minute we figured out we could start traveling our show, I was intoxicated by the idea that I could be in some strange situation in Ghana trying to make people laugh who've never heard of me before and don't really care. That became, I don't know what it is. There's a magic to that of how did I get here and what are these people going to think? And I don't know. I'm endlessly fascinated by that.
And also how funny people are the same everywhere in the world. There are a bunch of angsty, we're just the same. Like comics are the same everywhere in the world that you go. Like I'll try and use like a local opener or a feature act wherever I go. And I've learned more from like local feature acts than I have, from I think the biggest comics anywhere else. So I love that.
Do you do any research and try and find out? I always try and find out what's the deal with this town, because there's always a deal. There's always a oh well, and I know that it can seem cheap because you're playing to the room, but there's part of me that always wants to hit on the thing that they're thinking about, which is that somebody tried to open a knockoff Walmart in town, and but no one really likes them, and then it failed, but then someone else turned it into a Chuck E. Cheese that's also a knockoff, and now everybody's happy. And if you can hit on that and explore that with them, it feels kind of magical that someone came out of the sky and landed here and now is talking to you about what you care about.
I I think the perfect show kind of meanders between shit they want to hear and shit you want to say. And I certainly haven't written it yet. But I think in the first 5 minutes, you have to find something, some sort of local acknowledgement of we're both here and I have, in some sense, experienced your city because it's disingenuous not to.
Yeah.
So like I will kind of go in a little bit earlier and do one thing. So if you're in Stavanger, I will try the fish soup and have, jokes about that.